All right, we will continue working on our cart page. So if there are no items in the cart and if we are coming to cart page, we should show some message or something like that. So for this, the same set of images, we have this vegetable underscore basket.png, this image. I'm going to show this image with a text that there are no items in the cart, something like this. So let's quickly download this image first. We'll simply say save this image and add this to our project. I have added this in www root folder, www root folder, vegetables underscore basket.png. Let's copy this. Now here we can simply check inside this row. We'll say if cart service dot count, or let's say items dot length, items dot count dot count equals 0, that means we don't have any item. If that's not the case, we'll simply go to else and then everything will be same with this for each loop. Okay, inside this if, what we'll do, we can simply have a div class, let's say display flex column. Okay, and then we'll say justify content center and align items center, and we are going to have empty margin top 5 if, and inside this first we can have our img src, this thing, and after this we can simply have a label with class or some uh, no items in cart, yeah, something like this. And then maybe we can have one button here, so we'll say button type button, and we'll say class btn. We have outline app, right? Yes, btn outline app, and we can say view product, something like this. And on click of this we want it to go back to the home page. Let's do this. Let's not have it as button, instead we'll have it as nav link or anchor tag, same thing. So nav link, and we'll have href equals slash nav link. Save it. Let's see how it looks. We don't need this tilt. Let's see how it looks. Okay, and we'll design it further, and let's have gap as well. So we'll say gap of t2. Save it. Let's try. Okay, so app is here and we can't see anything. Page not running. Yeah, page running. We need to have loader as well. Let's go to cart and we can see this ugly box. We need to decrease the size of this image, but we can see view products. We can see no items in the cart yet. If we click on view products, it is back to the home page. Okay, let's quickly do this, work on this image. We'll make it smaller. So on this image only, we can simply have style here. We can set any one of these, let's say 150 px. Save it, refresh. App is here. Let's go to cart page and we can see this. Okay, better than before. Now let's try this view products. We are using this outline, is looking nice, but let's try to change this to our actual button, the btn app. How would it look if we have it as btn app? Inspect, and here if we select this and we'll say just btn app, not outline app. So this also looks good. Let's keep this. And on this label, no items in cart, we can have some class here. Let's say text secondary. All right. Then on this div class, we have margin top 5. Let's move it a bit further. So py5 as well. Okay. And with this, we are good. py5. And on the button, we will have btn app. Nothing else. If we tap on it, we should come back to the home page. All right. Let's quickly add these two things. So btn app. And with MT5, we are going to have py5 as well. Save. We are good. Now, after this, whatever items we have added on this screen, we need to have some view here which will show the total number of items and a continue button. So I'm going to have something here like floating div, rounded floating div maybe here, which will show the current total amount, total items in the cart, and a continue button on the right side. Okay, so let's quickly do that. What we'll do here is that also we need to have that fixed. We'll say div class position fixed. First thing is this. Then let's do this. Let's call it. What should we call it? Total stack or continue button, something like this. Continue btn. Okay. This is fine. Now this we will render only when we have items in the cart. We'll say cart service dot items dot count is equals 0. That count property which we have in our cart service count, we are setting this count properly, right? Count display count, whenever we are modifying it, we are using the count. Notify count changed. Yes, so let's use that count property directly like this, like this. So if count is greater than 0, then only we are going to have this position fixed continue btn. Let's have some styling on this. Continue btn. Inside this, we'll have, let's have display flex, deflex, justify content between, and align items center. Then I'm going to have two parts here. First, and on this position fix, let's have pg app. Do you guys know why this object reference not set to an instance comes always here? That if there is some missing piece when I'm writing this HTML class, I have no idea why this happens. So bg app lighter, we can try anyone or primary. Then on this we can have shadow as well. We'll say shadow. All right. Now inside this, I'm going to have a div. Here we are going to have total amount. We can say label with total colon. Then here we can say, okay, in cart service, we are going to have one more property here now. We'll say public decimal total amount, which will be a computed property on items, cart items basically. So items dot sum I dot amount. So we'll sum all the amounts, and individual amount on the basis of the cart type model, it is already quantity times price. So this total amount is what we are looking in here. UI will say total amount. We can say dot to string and we can convert it to currency. Then we are going to have one more. Let's say span. Total items. We can have item count. So we'll say cart service dot count. So total items 5 and total amount will be this, something like this. And then we are going to have a button here. Button type button class btn btn sm. We can have this, and here we'll say continue. We can maybe have btn app, but we can set bg white. Save it. Let's see how it looks, and then we will just set it to the proper place and all. Restart. Alright, app is here. Let's try. Go to cart, and we can see this ugly looking stuff here. We have position fixed, display flags, all this. We just need to work on this using this continue btn. Okay, so let's quickly open up inspect, select this thing. We have this position fixed, continue button. So we need it to go to the bottom 0. Now we can't see it because it will be behind this section. So we need to set bottom Kelsey var we have our tab bar height, right? Tab bar height. Now we'll have some buffer. So we'll say plus 5 pixel so that we have some spacing from here. Alright. Then we want it to be in the center. So for this, what we can do, left or right, any one of these will set 50%. Now it is starting from 50%. We need it to come in the center of the screen. So for this, we can simply use a translate transition, not transition, transform, translate x minus 50%. Minus 50%. It will be in the perfect center. So this left 50% start from here. Then transform works on the actual size of the element. We are saying on the x-axis you need to move minus 50%. That means half of the width to the left side. So from here it came here and now it is in perfect center. Now let's have some padding here. Maybe from, let's have 5 pixel and 12 pixel. What is the, we need to have some height, sorry, width as well. Let's do width. We'll say Kelsey, calculate 100 VW, that means viewport width, minus, we can have some maybe 30 pixel, something like this, or maybe let's say 50 pixel, 50 pixel. Then we are going to have border radius as 50%, which looks ugly. That means we need to somehow settle with some width. So for this, let's set some height. Maybe let's try. We'll just try to play around 80 pixel, and then border radius will do 80 pixel. We do 40 px, but not border radius like this. Okay. Then what this 80 pixel is looking a lot, but let's see. Then we have this div class where we have these two labels. On this div class, let me add display flags. or maybe on these individual label we can have display block. It's up to us. Let's have on here, so display flex, and we'll say flex column. Let's see, if I set text white here, it will apply to both. Yes, it's getting applied. All right, now this first label, we need to increase the font size of this first label. We'll say font size, or maybe let's add a class here, that h utilities. So we'll say h3 like this, and we can see this bit bigger now with font weight bold as well, FW bold, and we can see this now. Now on this continue button, let's have, we already have that padding, right? Let's try to increase it, and it is not getting applied. Why it is not getting applied? Display block. Do we have display already? Display. Oh, we have display. Not this one. Oh, we have display flags, right? Let's see why this padding is not getting applied. No, this is top bottom. Oh my god. What was this earlier? I had 5 pixels, something like this, and we need to increase this thing. My bad. 30 pixel. Top bottom 5 is fine. We already have height, so it will get applied like this. So total 7.48 rupees. Total items 5. Then we have this right section. So that PTN app BG white. And with this, let's have the text color as primary. So we'll say text app primary, and we can't see this text app primary. Yes, why can't we see this text app primary, text app light? Why it is not getting applied? Am I adding the CSS class name wrong? So www root folder css app.css, we have text app primary where we have color. And we can't see this still. Oh no, we have this, right? Background color. Oh, this color is getting preference over this PTN app because this is defined before this. Okay, if I do this color here, was app light or lighter, then we should see the primary. This is still some light color. Oh, here it is not looking fine, but I can see this on my physical device. Maybe we need to restart it. But before that, we need to add all these classes, whatever we did here, all these classes and styles to our Visual Studio. So first, on this position fixed, did I add on anything on this position fixed? Position fixed, cart page, position fixed. Let's add. I don't remember if I added anything. Then we have this deflex text white, this thing here. After that, we have label with the class this, so this label class h3fw bold. Then the next span, here I didn't have change, I don't have any change. Then we have this button type button, add this thing. And on this, I had to explicitly specify this style. Let's add this style here. So this should be not continue button, continue box, something like this. Okay, we'll see. So now let's go to this actual continue btn. We have this thing here, copy and paste, and let's change it to continue section, something like this. Or let's say continue box, box, continue box. Save it. Let's try to restart because I can see the color in my physical device, but that is not coming in the this dev tools. Let's close this dev tools. Let the app run on the device, then we'll reopen the dev tool. Okay, we have the information here. Now let's add a couple of items. Go to the cart and we can see this. You see, we have this white button here. Now let's do this. Let's again open the browser inspect, and on this section we have shadow, but it is not a shadow lg. And now on the physical device I can see, or maybe let's do this. Let's add explicit shadow. So box shadow 0 0, let's say 10 pixel black. We'll see how it is looking, then we'll simply increase that shadow. And let's remove this shadow lg, this class from here. Now we can see this height 80. This looks a lot, I think. Let's maybe 70. Fine. And when we have this 70, this should be 35. All right. Then we should have this padding, vertical padding, to increase 10 pixel. Let's have it as 76. Why 76? So that we can have this 38, right? All right. Now we have this height and the background of this thing, the cart. It should come on top of this. So we should have this much of more spacing. So on this screen where we have everything in this container fluid basically, or maybe main content for this one, we already have this section. We need to have additional spacing on this container fluid. We need to have spacing for this particular amount of space. On this container fluid, what we will do is simply have a padding bottom. Okay, and this should be the 76px, right? Now so that we can see it here, and these items are on top of this, so we can do this thing, right? Now for this continue button, let's design this as well a bit further. Here we'll say this one we can maybe have a border radius. If we do 50%, what will happen? Very bad. Let's have some fixed height on this one as well. Let's say 50 is a lot, 40 is fine. We'll have border radius on this as 20 pixel. Okay, then let's maybe have a width of 100 pixel, and we can increase this a bit. 100 pixel is fine. And then on the main continue box is right. Should we We okay with this right padding? Let's try. Here, left and right padding, if we do this, let's maybe make it 25 or 30. Okay. So now this is looking fine. I can see it on my physical device and it looks great actually. Alright. Let's copy over all these styles. So first, position fixed. Did I do something? I think I have removed shadow from there and added here. So let's copy this continue box. Remove the shadow from here and we'll add the styling here. After that, we have display flex text white. Did we do anything in this? No. We just added something on this button. So on this button, let's have a class here. So here we'll say btn continue or just continue button. Continue btn. Now we have continue button. Continue btn. And then we are going to have these styles here. Okay. Save it. What else? Nothing? Okay, looks like we are good. Let's stop and let's move these styles. We don't have anything on product info, product img, delete button. We don't have anything on this. So these styles, let's move these styles to cartpage.razor.css. Cartpage.razor.css. Here I'm going to have these styles. Then I'm going to remove this style from here. Save everything. And let's try to run it one more time to see the final view. App is here. Let's see. Let me add items. Let's add multiple items so that we can see the scroll bar there. Go to the cart and we can see this 34.76 rupees, total items 24. We have continue button, we can scroll and we have this problem because we didn't add that padding on this container fluid. Let's quickly add that padding. Padding bottom, what was that? 76px, right? You can have it also in a variable, CSS variable if you want to, and we are good with this. And with this, our cart page is almost ready. We can delete items, we can clear the items, and we are good. Now next thing, we should work on this continue button, but for this continue button, it should open the address selection before placing the order. But right now we don't have that address related stuff ready, so we will not work on address selection right now. Instead, we'll go next. We'll For address selection, we need to have user identity. Okay. So for this, what we'll do right now, what we can do when we press on continue, we need to check if user is logged in or not. Right now, user will not be logged in. So if user is not logged in, we will move to the login page. That login page we have not designed yet. We'll design that login page next. So first, let's have that logic ready here. Just stop it. Here, when we click on this continue button, we are going to have a method here, private void continue checkout, something like this. Here, check if user is logged in. Check if user is logged in. Here we'll say if logged in, open address selection. If not, else navigate to login page. This is what we want to do here. Right now, we'll simply navigate to login. For that, we need to inject our navigation manager, navigation manager. And using this navigation manager, we are going to go to navigate to slash login, which we don't have right now. We'll work on this next. Right, now let's quickly use this continue checkout. So what I'm going to do, instead of clicking on this button, we'll have this entire box. If we click anywhere on this entire box, it should call this continue checkout. Right, let's quickly do this. Here we'll say on click at the rate on click equals, just call this continue checkout. Save it and we should be good. Now we'll move to this